This is one valley that I covered quite a bit. This valley number 1, and it is it's a very diverse. I mean, it was a lot of plants were there here last year, and stage by stage it is getting degraded because it's become real estate and all. Anyway, in this stretch, some 1,000 plants of approximately one species of very beautiful ground orchids were occurring here year after year, and then half of this property they have removed the tops of earth, and then the heavy machinery came and all and leveled the place, and so top 1 feet of that soil was shoveled to the side and then exposed to the elements, and couple of trees were there, they cut everything. So now why I have come here today is to check out if those that ground orchid has survived, or at least how many of them survived. So last year across that fence over there, just beyond, about 200 plants were there, and then in this section, that is from that coconut tree to where I am standing, it's about some 300-400 meters, some 500 plants were there, and then for continuing this patch also I had another 500 plants. So in this first part where the heavy machinery has done its job, I couldn't locate any of those Habenaria. This year's Habenaria, they all got decimated. But in this part the machinery hasn't run, so I'm going to search and find a few of them so that you can all have a look and we can discuss this kind of disturbance that happens on a property or a piece of land. Now this is that Habenaria what I was talking about. It is it has a normally it has 1 or 2 leaves. So 1 leaf has come, second leaf is getting ready there, and then flower. These Habenarias have a typical shape, that white flowers with that kind of a mustache kind of thing emerging on the sides, and the leaf is hardly 1 centimeter, and then underneath there will be a little tuber that is about like a little garlic sized tuber. So this Habenaria and all these kind of plants, they, if heavy machinery rolls over them and all, they can't survive. So almost 3/4 of the population got decimated last year, and then this portion also is likely to go in a year or 2 at the most. And this Habenaria, I saw 2 populations. One is in this valley number 1, second one is just across the road. There is another patch of this grassland, because these can't survive if there is heavy undergrowth and invasive weeds and all come and occupy. They just can't compete. So one population, half it's gone now, and the second population was a small patch of some 100 plants maybe, but this was a large community of this little ground orchid. And so anyway, we'll look at it. Very beautiful things. So some 10 or 15 flowers will come. Then they're hard to find unless you go very slowly, and they need these grasslands, undisturbed grasslands. Undisturbed means cows grazing they can tolerate. but not this heavy machinery and all. So I could hardly see 2-3 plants this year. Such a small thing, it's a bit hard to locate, but that's all I think. I was expecting some 50 or 100 plants at least to have survived. If there's too much grass like this, they can't, they'll not survive. They need flat grassland because they're such a tiny little species. Surprising, I thought at least some couple of hundred should have survived. So that's not a good sign. Anyway, since these few are still there, I'll show them closely. After that, I'll close this video. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 plants. It's a pity if there's such a nice population of them goes. And many of these plants, they will never get to, once, if you see them once, it's a good likelihood that you may never encounter them again. So that it has one leaf, that's about it. So you can imagine what happens if the bulldozers and all roll over these little things. Then there's the end of the story. So very beautiful orchard meadow with so much of very nice species I covered here. Now one species is almost gone. All these plants are in the middle of the town, and then they have absolutely no hope of escaping this development process. So the in situ conservation is impossible here. Only thing is, people, if there are growers are there, they have to collect it. And one more plant, some 4-5 specimens are there, that's all. So that's about a bit about one of the Habin area. Hardly 4-5 plants I could find, so disappointing.